Hello guys, and today I will be reading The Tale of Peter Rabbit. So, on the back, there's a blurb right here, and I'm going to read it for you. The classic story about Peter the Naughty Rabbit and his adventures in Mr. McGregor's garden, with art by beloved illustrator David McPhail. The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Let's get going. By Beatrix Potter, illustrated by David McPhail. This little picture there. Okay. Now, my dears, said old Miss Rabbit, one morning, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out. Next page. Then old Miss Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the woods, to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First, he ate some lettuces. Okay, I don't know. Okay. First, he ate some lettuces and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes, and then felt rather sick. He went to look for some parsley. This is him. Squeezed under the gates. Yes. Okay, good. Next page. Okay. But round the end of a cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees, planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Peter was almost dreadfully frightened, and Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had gotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages, and another among the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on 4 legs and went faster, so that I think he may have got away altogether if he hadn't unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large button on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew to him in great excitement and implored him to exert himself. Okay, next page. Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter, but Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him, and rushed into the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would be a beautiful hiding spot if it didn't have so much water in it. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each. He found a door in a wall. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked. There was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. And an old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asks her the way to the gate, but she had such a large pea in her mouth that she couldn't answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. Then he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very, very still. But now and then, the tip of her tail twitched, as it were alive. Peter thought it was best to go without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. He went back toward the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a hoe. Screech! Scratch! Scratch! Scritch! Peter scuttered underneath the bushes. But personally, as nothing happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and behind him was the gate. And these are the pages you missed. Where he cries. And then the cat one. Okay. And then this one I just read. Okay. Next. Okay. Peter got down Peter got down very quietly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could. Go along and straight walk behind some black currant bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the woods outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him until he got home to the big fir tree. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had no. But he was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice, soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking. She wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter has lost in a fortnight. I'm sorry to say that Peter was never very well during the evening. He thought his mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea for him, and then gave him a dose of it to Peter. 1 tablespoon to be taken at bedtime. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. The end. Thank you for watching. I really appreciated it, and I'm sorry I missed a few times. So I might do a few more of these on my channel. I'm sorry I haven't done a lot in a few years. Probably like a year or something, because we have a lot of busy things. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment down below if you want me to do more things. And like, please. So like the video, press subscribe, and it's red, so got a red marker. Thank you for watching. Bye.